The NBA season is rapidly approaching. I cannot wait. And just in getting ready for the previews, that there is so much to be excited about in the NBA this season. One of the things that's always fun is to see players level up, to see these breakout stars either reach the potential or surpass anything we ever thought possible for them. And today, we are going to look at 5 players who are candidates to really break out in that way this season. I'm going to start with an honorable mention, so I guess we're talking about 6. Benedict Mathurin for the Indiana Pacers. Injuries kind of slow him up, but I think, and now the main viewing I got of him was against the Raptors, who weren't providing the most resistance, but I do think that there is a player in there that can be a very dynamic and very exciting offensive player on a team that kind of allows that skill set to thrive anyway. That this is a guy who can step up in a big time way and can really go out there and make an impact offensively. I think he is not going to be the main option or even close to that on this Pacers team with Halliburton, Siakam, Turner as well, even Nembhard. Like he is down in the pecking order a little bit, but I think he has an opportunity, if he can stay healthy, to really come out here and show what he has offensively. That's already too much talk for an honorable mention. Number 5, this one's cheating, and so I'm not going to go super in depth on it. It's Victor Wembanyama. We're going to get into the top players in the league later on this week. He's not on there. He will be next year. And it's like I did this in the NHL one too. He is going to be the guy who comes out here and goes from being, top 10, top 15 to maybe top 3. He's going to get MVP votes this season. I am so high on him. And what really drove it home for me was the accountability episode we did the other day, where we went back and looked at the predictions from last year and what we can learn. And what we learned is that we weren't high enough on the potential breakout for some of these young players. Like Anthony Edwards took a step, and it took Minnesota far past what people thought they were going to be. Same thing with Oklahoma City. For a couple of years now, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander has taken those steps and far surpassed expectations for Oklahoma City. I think that's going to be the same here with Victor Wembanyama. There is nothing he can't do. If he can stay healthy, and we just saw him do that, the sky is the limit for this guy, and there are actual pieces around him now. This is going to be a very good basketball player this season. At 4, a little bit of homerism, I have Emmanuel Quickley. I think that he and Scotty Barnes work really well together. I think that he was kind of lost a little bit in the Knicks offense, and then to come into the Raptors mid-season, it didn't click in the way that I think it can. And so maybe this is another Precious Achiuwa for me, and 3 years down the line, I'm going to be like, no, guys. This is the year he breaks out. But I do think that this is the year where, in Rakovic's offense, with Scotty Barnes as this kind of 1-2 combo, I do think that they are going to define some things. And so I think we are going to see the best version of Emmanuel Quickley that we have seen. And I think that is going to get him. No, this is not one where I think he's going to get MVP votes or anything like that. But I think we're going to kind of see the potential we thought we had in Emmanuel Quickley for a really long time. At 3, it's Jabari Smith. There are you could pick most of the Houston Rockets for this particular selection. But I do think that he is the one on the whole team that kind of stands out as the one who has the opportunity to really rocket, pardon the pun, into the stratosphere in the NBA. I just think there is a skill set there that really looks like it can be unlocked this season. And so I think this is the year that he takes a big step forward for the Houston Rockets. At 2, I have Kuminga. There is going to be a lot asked of him. There was a lot that was concerning about him last year and a lot of frustration with him. But I think that now there's no Klay Thompson. I'm not saying Klay was holding him back, but there's no Klay Thompson. It is Steph Curry and Draymond Green, and that's kind of it. They need Kuminga to step up. I think given this extra opportunity, he is going to really thrive in this role and step into the player that has been untouchable in trade discussions over the years and has kind of been that guy. And so I think Kuminga really breaks out this season. Just a quick note, Deeds, super appreciate the subscription. Thank you very much. Always love having you in the chats, and love having you part of the Vampire League, and very much appreciate the subscription. Thank you very much for that, Deeds. All right, number 1 breakout player. By the way, Deeds, Flames talk coming up here in just a second. We'll get to the hockey stuff here in a moment. But at number 1, it is Cade Cunningham. It has not been an easy time for Cade Cunningham with Detroit. And I think because of injuries and the general irrelevance of the Detroit Pistons as a basketball franchise for the last little while, we've kind of forgotten how good Cade can be. I think this is the year he reminds us. I don't want to say that they had this amazing offseason, but they did go out and add some actual veteran NBA players. They overpaid for Tobias Harris. You have to do that when you're Detroit, and you're bad. But there are actual real-life NBA players on this team now, and that's not something they've always had. And so I do think that given a step up in the quality of players around him, that we are now going to see Cade Cunningham start to reach that potential we thought for him when he was coming out of the draft and he was the obvious number one and he was the apple of everyone's eye and everyone was tanking for him. I think this is the year that he really does kind of reach that level. And I don't think he drags the Pistons into the playoffs, but I think the Pistons are at least going to be on like an in the hunt playoff board with a few weeks to go in the regular season. I think that Cade can get that team to that point, and that's why he is my number one target for breaking out in the NBA this season.